Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Who's Judging podcast. I'm your host, Connor, and this is officially my last episode before Danny is back, and we have our duo back in action. And so today I'm going to cover a very important topic overall and a very important topic to me. And that is, how do animals think and how do they feel? How much can they think? How much can they feel? What of our actions impact them, essentially? And this is important to me because a lot of people have this misconception that animals are not intelligent and they're not sentient and they don't feel things. They don't have feelings. And I've actually had a conversation with someone about this recently, and that's what prompted this as a topic for the episode. So thank you. You know who you are. And so, as I said, people have long believed that animals don't have feelings. And this could not be more wrong. One of the most disrespected animals in this sense are fish. Even the most basic animal rights do not apply to fish. The U.S. Humane Slaughter Act was signed into law in the 1950s and requires slaughterhouses to ensure that livestock animals such as cattle and swine, pig, are made quickly and effectively unconscious, known as stunning, before they're killed. The act leaves out some of the most commonly slaughtered animals, however, including fish. So how do we know fish have feelings? We know thanks to science. Scientists have employed many different studies that reveal the emotional lives of fish. Some experiments observe the behavior of fish when placed into differing environments, while others actually measure a fish's physiological reactions, like changes in hormone levels to different stimuli. In Fish's Intelligence, Sentience, and Ethics, researcher Cullum Brown provides an overview of various experiments on fish sentience and concludes fish are sentient and the evidence that they are capable of feeling pain in a manner similar to humans is gradually mounting. I submit that there are compelling reasons to include fish in our moral circle and afford them the protections that they deserve. Scientists have discovered that fish exhibit emotions similar to the ones we experience. Fish like to have fun. Fish that live in aquariums and tanks will cruise through bubble streams like they're riding roller coasters. There's also evidence that fish are capable of feeling fear. Researchers in Canada tested this out by exposing rainbow trout to frightening stimuli, plunging a net into the trout's tank whenever a particular light was turned on. The trout learned to associate this light with the frightening net and would escape to safety when the light came on, even before the net was plunged into the water. Yes, fish experience both physical and emotional pain. Scientists say that it's likely a different type than what humans experience, but it's pain nonetheless. Unfortunately, many of the methods used in commercial fishing industry subject fish to both types of suffering, physical and emotional. A 2019 study found that trawl-caught cod and haddock were found to be conscious even 2 hours after they had been pulled out of the water. Instead of being stunned in a quick and humane way, these fish were forced to suffocate slowly and painfully. So do fish feel pain when they're hooked by the fishers? There's almost no doubt that fish experience pain when caught on a hook, as they have a large concentration of pain receptors in and around their mouths and lips, which are typically pierced during the process. Research indicates that when rainbow trout were subjected to a painful stimulus, their behavior and physiology were affected for a prolonged period, suggesting that the fish were indeed experiencing pain. Another study found that trout injected with a pain-inducing substance and given morphine, which is a painkiller, behaved normally, unlike those not given morphine, indicating that the exposure to pain alters their mental state in a manner similar to humans and other mammals. Scientific experiments have found that fish are capable of storing important information about their surroundings in their memories and acting accordingly. Salmon are able to rely on their sense of smell to return home during mating seasons to the streams where they were born, which in most cases are thousands of miles away. In an experiment carried out in 2022, so just last year, scientists trained fish to associate blue and yellow colors with the commands add 1 and subtract 1, respectively, showing that fish were capable of successfully performing basic arithmetic. There's even a popular myth that goldfish only have a 3-second memory. I'm sure you've heard that one. Short memory, be like a goldfish, have a short memory. If you make a mistake, people always say that. Experiments have shown that they can remember things. Goldfish can remember things for up to a month. So that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of disinformation and misinformation about animals' capabilities, intelligence-wise and feelings-wise. Most of them are wrong. I think most people would have told you if you asked that goldfish had a short memory, nowhere near a month. I bet you that's the answer you would get. Now, moving on to other emotions like stress. When fish are out of water and unable to breathe, they slowly suffocate and die. Compounds like cortisol, the hormone associated with stress, can significantly increase during periods when fish are out of water. This is proof that fish not only feel pain, but they also feel stress. They can stress out. Now, many people think that empathy is a special emotion that only humans show, but many animals express empathy for each other. There are documented stories of elephants finding humans who were lost. In one case, an old woman who couldn't see well got lost and was found the next day with elephants guarding her. They had encased her in sort of a cage made of branches to protect her from hyenas. This seems extraordinary to us, but it comes naturally to elephants. People have also seen humpback whales help seals being hunted by killer whales. There's a documented amount of humpback sweeping a seal its back out on its back out of the water away from the killer whales. And so on top of that, I can tell you from personal experience from my dogs, which I know a lot of people are going to say are not the same, but dogs are so similar. Pigs and cows are so similar to dogs. So yes, I will make this point about dogs, and it does extend to other species and other animals. So we have 3 rescues. We have Buzz, Maggie, and we have Sophie at the moment. And they're amazing creatures, amazing beings. I don't like the word creatures. And because they're rescues, they are so timid, shy, they're scared a lot of the time. But what you see is every day they open up a little bit more to you. They were broken by humans, and so they naturally did not trust any human. But what they're doing is slowly letting the humans back in. They show love. They show understanding of love, that we love them. They show loyalty. They show empathy. They cuddle with you. You cannot tell me they cuddle with you and do not feel love and empathy. When I'm feeling bad, my dog runs around and tries to cheer me up, licks me, smells me, nudges me a little bit. When I pet him and stop petting, Buzz will start, clawing at me like, hey, come on, man, don't stop. Rub me some more. That's what they want. These animals are naturally just like us. They want to form bonds, and they do form bonds. And so I think saying dogs are these amazing creatures, but then still don't feel like us. I've been asked, do dogs really love us back? Do they really feel that way about us? Like we go crazy about them. Do they feel the way about us? Maybe not to the same extent, but yes, they do. They do feel empathy. They do feel love, and they are able to reciprocate them as well. And of course, on top of that, the dogs, not just dogs, but in this case, my dogs are able to learn their name, respond to their name. They understand when they're being called, and it's not just a response to me talking. If I call Buzz, only Buzz looks at me. If I call Maggie, only Maggie looks at me. It's not like if I call Maggie, all 3 look. They also understand when it's time to go on a walk. They also understand when it's breakfast and when it's dinner time. They have an understanding of time in that sense as well. And so it shows that they are intelligent. And so I don't like when people shrug off animals' intelligence because, in my opinion, it's just their brain is writing them an excuse on why it's okay to keep eating animals. That's what I think personally. And so moving on to pigs. Decades of research and scientific observation have clearly shown that pigs are intelligent, complex creatures. Pigs have the capacity to experience some of the same emotions as humans, like happiness, excitement, fear, and anxiety. They're able to remember important pieces of information for long periods of time. One experiment placed pigs inside of two different sets of crates. One crate for a few hours or 4 hours, and another crate for just 30 minutes. When given the choice between the two, most pigs opted to re-enter the 30-minute crate over the 4-hour crate. From this, researchers drew two important conclusions. One, pigs are able to perceive the passage of time. They know the difference between the 4 hours and the 30 minutes. And on top of that, they're able to make decisions based on what they've learned through past experiences. And in terms of, do pigs have feelings? Do they have emotions? Pigs express their feelings and desires through tail wags, just like dogs, nudges, just like dogs, as well as playfulness and stubbornness, just like dogs. And they even smile. And when this doesn't work, pigs can become very vocal, using a range of grunts, oinks, and squeals to get their point across. Researchers are aware of about 20 distinct noises that pigs use to communicate a range of emotions. A recent study conducted by researchers in Budapest examined the problem-solving ability of pigs by presenting them with solvable and unsolvable puzzles. Initially, the pigs were given an upside-down plastic container with food underneath, which they promptly learned to flip over to access the reward. Surprisingly, the pigs were quicker to complete the task compared to dogs in a similar experiment. Subsequently, the researchers made the container immovable, making the task unsolvable. It was observed that pigs possess a unique trait of determination in the face of an insurmountable challenge, as they persisted in trying to solve the problem independently. This is in contrast to other animals like dogs, who tend to seek human assistance when faced with a challenging task. In addition to being adept at problem solving, pigs also exhibit independent thinking. Pigs pick up on the effects that music and other stimuli have on their trained penmates and match their energies afterwards. Isn't that the very definition of empathy? The ability to understand and share the feelings of others. And so what this experiment was they associated a sound with fear for one group, and they associated a different sound with happiness for another group of pigs. And they put the whole group together and played the one that was supposed to associate the fear. And only one group knew that it associated the fear. They were the only ones that were trained. And when those ones got scared, the other ones did as well. They mirrored the emotion showed by their penmates. At the same time, when the happy one was played, that only half the pigs knew or were trained to have a happy response to it, once this side was happy, this other side was as well. They mirror each other's emotions. That's empathy. They feel what the other one's feeling and are able to understand them. Scientists also concluded that pigs possess complex ethological traits on par with dogs and even primates like chimpanzees. There are even places where pigs perform better. For example, not only can you teach a pig to fetch the frisbee on command, but you can also teach them to fetch a ball, and they'll know how to differentiate which object you're asking them to get. That is something most dogs do not understand. The dogs understand fetch and whatever you're throwing, but the pig, you can say fetch the frisbee and fetch the ball, and whichever one, you could throw them both, and they're only going to go get the ball if you tell them fetch the ball. So they are very intelligent animals. And it's hard to compare human intelligence and that of another species, obviously. But most researchers agree that a pig's cognitive abilities, emotional depth, memory, spatial learning, self-awareness, object discrimination, etc., are comparable to that of a young child as old as 3. So, of course, no one's saying they're as smart as us, a 20-year-old, a 23-year-old, a 40-year-old. But they're not this stupid animal either that's not worth the life. It's not worth living. Okay, that's a very big distinction. And so right here, I'm just going to show you a clip of an awesome pig named Princess, who now lives at Arthur's Acres, which is an awesome sanctuary for pigs. And I'm going to buy one of their books because they look amazing. And so what happened with her is she was, an unfortunate pig that was born into the industry and was abused for 14 years, if I remember correctly, to the point where they're in the darkness so long, they're blind now. Princess is blind. And I'm going to show you this awesome video. It's going to go here. Again, just like last episode, it's going to go over my face. You're not going to see me. And just watch how she goes from a scared pig that won't even interact with the human, scared human, blind, to an running around, wagging its tail and cuddling up to the human. And you will see exactly how much they feel and how they think and their ability to bond with other pigs as well as humans. And I hope when you watch the video that you actually take it to heart, because this video might, hopefully will, change your perception on pigs as a whole. And so just look at it real quick and I'll be back.
She's so skittish, she doesn't want to go near anything.
Locked in a dark stall, this pig saw virtually no daylight for 10 years.
And I've been here for like a half hour, I didn't want to move or do anything.
Todd with Arthur's Acres Sanctuary gave her a forever home after her rescue.
When I come in with a treat. Hey, baby girl.
After being in the dark for so long, she had lost her sight and could only see shadows.
I love your sounds.
Very slowly, she started to get more comfortable around Todd.
You're not scared of my voice? That's awesome. I touched your nose.
Slowly but surely, there was progress.
I want to touch your nose again. You're so beautiful. I touched your nose. Yay. Princess is on grass for probably the first time in her entire life. Oh, be free.
And then, just like that, Princess was unstoppable.
Fall in love with me. I don't know what to do. Hi, pretty guy. You can take little bites, you get the whole thing. Princess, are you serious? I think you should be doing this. You're sick. I love you, but not in that way.
All right, I hope you enjoyed Princess. She's an amazing being, an amazing pig. And so now, after Princess, we are going to move on to cows now. And cows, I just love to call them my grazing puppies. They're grazing puppies. That's what they are. They're just big puppies. And so as our understanding of cows increases, it is evident that there are several similarities between humans and cows. Multiple studies have demonstrated that cows possess robust social dynamics, intricate emotional experiences, and the capacity for rational thinking and problem solving. Have you ever experienced the feeling of immediate relief and excitement when your best friend enters the room at a party or in general? Well, believe it or not, cows also share this feeling. Cows are social creatures, which means they love being around other cows. Right from the time they're born, they have a strong urge to connect with their herd mates. They show affection by nuzzling each other, grooming one another, and taking walks together. Sometimes they even cuddle up to one another to snooze, take a nap. And just like us, cows have their own personalities. Some are more outgoing and others are more relaxed. They tend to form close relationships with other cows that have similar personalities. These bonds can last a lifetime, just like human friendships. So it's safe to say that cows and humans bond in similar ways by seeking out and building relationships with like-minded individuals. And so moving on from there, do cows have feelings? Yes, they do. Studies have shown that cows have complex emotional lives, despite our inability to directly communicate with them. While stress and contentment are basic emotions that they experience, cows also exhibit a wide range of complex emotions, including love, excitement, sadness, and fear. Intriguingly, cows are even capable of cognitive bias. This term describes an individual's outlook on life. Glass half full, glass half empty, that type of thing, based on their past experiences. For example, young calves that experience something painful, such as horn removal with a hot iron, will avoid sights and sounds associated with that experience even if they are not in any danger of getting hurt. On the other hand, cows also get excited about new experiences. A study found that when cows learned a small task to receive a treat, they showed signs of pleasure when they successfully completed the task, which researchers called an emotional reaction to learning. This is similar to the satisfaction that humans feel when accomplishing something they've been working hard on. Although cows might not express their emotions the same way as humans, they still experience many of the same feelings in their daily lives. In essence, cows have emotions and feelings just like we do. As previously mentioned, cows are naturally social animals who form strong bonds with one another. When cows are isolated from their friends and family, they get lonely, stressed, and even depressed. Sadly, this experience is all too common for cows who are born and raised on factory farms. These farms take newborn baby calves from their mothers to prevent the calves from drinking the milk because obviously they want to sell the milk. But mother cows have naturally strong bonds with their babies and will go to great lengths to protect them. One study showed that mother cows were willing to risk their own lives to keep their calves safe or keep them from being harmed. Animal behaviorists have observed that separating newborn calves from their mothers causes distress to both the mothers and the newborns. They cry out in anguish for hours or even days on some occasions. Calves that are suddenly separated from their mothers show a reluctance to eat solid foods and even have difficulty coping with stress. So now one of the big questions, can cows bond with humans? We want to know, do they think and do they have emotions and feelings like humans? So this is a big question. Can they bond with humans? Cows, like many animals, show affection by grooming each other. Therefore, they enjoy receiving affection from their human caregivers in the form of petting and scratching, particularly on the chin or behind the ears, just like your dog. Spending enough time with cows can make them view humans as part of their herd, resulting in cows displaying affection towards humans by licking them, following them around, or even cuddling with them. As I said, they're just big puppies. They're so full of love and they deserve so much better in this world. They deserve so much better. The only difference between the dog in your backyard or in your bed right now and the cow that's being slaughtered for your next burger is the size of them and what color they are. It's like saying if you are black with white dots or white with black dots, you don't deserve life. It's speciesist. You cannot give me one rational reason why a dog should live and a cow should die. They're just big puppies who want to be loved at the end of the day.
He loves giving me kisses, and he always demands cuddles. He's basically a one-ton baby. We saved Francisco from the dairy farm just in time, but slowly he warmed up to me. When we introduced him to toys, his playful personality really came out. He likes to rub his head on everything. Watching him run free for the first time in his life was one of the happiest moments ever. Now he runs up to me and demands all my attention. He pushes the others away because he wants all the cuddles to himself. Right away, Francisco knew this baby was special. He was extra gentle with Martin. It's like he wanted to help Martin walk. He has such a big heart.
Moving on to chickens now. They're one of the most populous and widely consumed animals in the world and are often overlooked and treated as nothing more than commodities. But they are very smart and very emotional. Studies have demonstrated that hens possess empathy as they exhibit physical and vocal responses to their distressed chicks. For instance, when the chicks are upset, the mother hen's heart rate will increase and she'll vocalize more to comfort them. Chickens are behaviorally sophisticated, discriminating among individuals exhibiting Machiavellian-like social interactions and learning socially in complex ways that are similar to humans. Chickens have a remarkable ability to manipulate and employ counter strategies. For instance, male chickens use fake food calls to lure women or lure their females. But if they use this strategy too often, the females learn to ignore them. According to Lauro Marino, a senior scientist at the Someone Project, which aims to change public perceptions of farm animals, chickens display logical reasoning abilities that humans don't typically develop until age 7. Chickens have abilities, cognitive abilities, that humans don't have until 7. And people discard them as commodities, not smart, not intelligent, no feelings. I'm just saying, smarter than your 6-year-old. As a trick at conferences, I sometimes list their attributes without mentioning chickens, and people think I'm talking about monkeys. That's from Dr. Chris Evans, a professor of psychology in Australia. Great name, by the way. While we may hear clucks and bok-boks from chickens, they communicate with each other in a more complex language that we may never be able to comprehend. Their distinct sounds can convey different meanings, from announcing the discovery of food to keeping an eye on their offspring. Even before hatching, a mother hen will communicate with her chicks inside the egg, ensuring that they will recognize her voice when they hatch. Chickens are also able to remember and recognize over 100 individuals. They can also recognize humans. Also, like other birds and mammals, chickens experience REM sleep, which is associated with dreaming. So chickens have the ability to dream. They not only have empathy and feel empathy, they have joy, they have pain, they have fear. They also dream. Chickens can dream just like us. They sleep just like us. Chickens demonstrate the ability to comprehend object permanence, which means that they understand that when something is taken away from them and hidden, it still exists. This is a concept that young children, human children, cannot grasp, yet a chicken can. A 2005 study showed that chickens anticipate and worry about the future. They can also show self-control. The study found that when offered a small reward, chickens would wait in order to get a larger one. Now, many people think of farm animals as unintelligent, emotionless beings that don't have the capacity to feel. You have to ask yourself, why? Is it an unconscious bias? Do you use it as an excuse to keep eating animals? As I said earlier, you may be even subconsciously doing it. You want the burger, you know there's an ethical issue, and so your mind just unconsciously comes up with an excuse for you, which is they're unintelligent. They're not worthy of it anyways. You're smarter, you're more intelligent, and you need the protein. It's a bullshit excuse. It's a bullshit reasoning. Let me tell you that right now. On the Who's Judging podcast, I'm having a moment of judging right here. Just a moment. The other thing is, does the industry want you to think of them this way? Do they want you to think of them as a commodity? Probably. You're more willing to buy it. Every time someone goes vegan, they lose money. So as long as you think of the animal as a commodity, they're winning. Not you, they're winning. All of the information I presented so far is pretty easy to find on the internet. All of it that I put out individually is very easy to find. All of it together would take hours. But just looking up parts that you were interested in, or as the question came up, if you were like, oh, do cows feel pain? All you had to do was look it up. So the question is, why haven't you? And if the other question is, if it's so easy to find and so common knowledge by all scientists, why do so many people believe the complete opposite of what all science and all experiments have found about these animals? Why do people believe the complete opposite about them? That's wild to me. It's just wild. The other very big question is it harder to continue to eat beef, chicken, pork, and fish if you know that they are beings that feel and think and have the same emotions that we do as humans. Is it harder to eat a chicken now that you know that they are smarter than a 6-year-old human? I don't know. I think the fact that they are smarter, as smart as I think the fact that they're as smart as a 7-year-old human should make it a lot harder for you to eat. They have more cognitive ability than a 6-year-old child. So now I'm looking at the anti-abortion people, right? You're telling me that an embryo, a human, and I'm not going to argue with you either way, a human that hasn't been born yet deserves rights, and deserves rights even though they're not intelligent. They have nothing yet. But you're fine eating a chicken that's smarter than a 7-year-old human. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there. And again, my overall goal with this entire podcast, including this episode, is to inform you guys without passing judgment. And so that's what I hope I'm doing here. I know I had that moment there, but overall, I hope that I'm just passing along information that helps you make your own decisions and helps you, kind of think a little more. Should I be doing this? Why am I not doing this? Without making you feel like you're judged. I know there's a lot of places out on the internet where you would feel judged if you ask these questions or are listening to this from another source. So my goal is to make you feel comfortable while still being able to learn the stuff that all of these people want you to be able to learn. And so if there's one message I have for this episode, it's to put kindness and compassion out in the world, right? Put out the compassion and kindness that you're looking to receive. That's it. And that's not compassion to humans. That's compassion to humans, chickens, cows, dogs, pigs, fish, all of them. All of the sentient beings on earth deserve the same kindness and compassion as we do. And so on that note, who's judging? Not me. Thank you guys.